Why'd you take the podcast hat off?
It wasn't my vibe.
It was messing with her hair.
Yeah, it doesn't look good because of my bun.
No, it looks good. You look like the man with the yellow hat from Curious George.
Welcome everybody to This Is Reviewable. We have a special guest today, our number one fan. And if you are my mom listening to this, you are also our number one fan. But this is Kaylee. Say hi, Kaylee.
Hello, I'm proud to be a day one listener.
Aww, Kaylee. But Kaylee and I went and watched... Do you want to introduce yourself, actually?
Oh,
Sorry,
sure.
I guess I should have said something.
What do you want me to say? The classic, where I grew up.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, I was born in Plano, Texas. My dad's in the Air Force, so we moved around quite a bit. But I mostly grew up in Colorado Springs. That's
Love
in
it.
Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know I lived there?
Did you really?
I did.
Yeah, last time I went and visited.
Why haven't we talked about this?
I lived there for I think 2 years. I went to Academy International.
I don't
Is
know
that the
that.
school?
Yeah, that was an elementary school. They taught some of the classes in French.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I've been to the summit of Pikes Peak.
I have also been there.
So you know Garden of the Gods.
I do know the
Yeah, that
Garden
place
of
was
the
cool.
Gods.
We went and visited Braden's old house that they lived in,
Yeah.
and the lady who lives there remembered them.
Yeah.
No way.
They
Yeah.
still have a
That's
couch
neat.
from them.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Well, did you guys go to Red Rocks? And
No.
it's just like Garden of the Gods. Not the Red Rocks Amphitheater, but
okay.
it's Red Rocks. That's what it's called.
Park or something.
It's way cooler than Garden of the Gods because
Okay.
you can actually climb on them.
They used to let you climb in Garden of the
They
Gods.
used to.
Oh.
Then
Now you have to have a
ruined
permit
it.
for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's so many littler rocks you can just boulder on pretty safely.
Yeah, there is that one area that they let you climb on.
Mm-hmm.
But
And then now you're not allowed to. Thanks, Biden. I assume it was his fault.
you're so dumb.
All right. Well, let's refocus back to me.
Oh, yes. Kaylee, please.
So I grew up Colorado. Then I went to Utah State up in Logan, Utah.
Go Aggies, am I right?
Go Aggies.
Braden?
And then
I guess.
Braden is a huge Aggie fan.
Yeah.
I'm so agnostic with colleges. I don't even care. I don't care at all about college sports. Anyway, keep going.
All right. Thank you. And then that's where I met my husband. Shout out to
Yay.
Cassidy.
Will he be listening to this?
He said he would actually listen to this one episode.
Oh, we thought we'd have to start roasting him every episode. For
Yeah,
him to
on
listen.
our walk, we were like, you know what we should do to get Cass to listen? We should talk shit about him,
I still think you should.
but just sprinkle it throughout the episode so he doesn't know when it is. and
Oh,
he
that's
has
good.
to keep
That's
listening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I can just kind of drop something on him did you hear what Micah and Braden said about you?
And he's so nosy, he couldn't help himself.
Yep.
Exactly. Well, I think anyone couldn't help
Oh,
themselves.
yeah.
What'd they say?
Tell me.
Now I gotta listen.
Yeah.
If
So
only-
maybe you just need to talk crap about everyone in the world.
I know. I was about to say, if only we knew everyone in the world.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, then I went on my mission to Brazil, came back and married the dude, and then we live in Utah, and
Mhm.
I like to classify myself as Micah's best friend,
It's a good
so
classification.
that's why I'm here.
There you go.
It goes both ways. But Kaylee and I went and watched a very controversial movie this week. Braden chose not to come.
Oh. Well, yeah. It was your thing. It was a girls' night.
It was too girly for
Yeah.
him.
Definitely wasn't.
Too full of violence,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
Would that have scared you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, pretty.
You want to know what, though? I did see The Fault in Our Stars when it came out in theaters.
Who'd you go with?
An undisclosed person.
Oh
Say
dear.
it. And then you just cut this out.
Her name was but that was one of the worst movie experiences I've ever had because it was full of women
Yeah.
And they were ugly bawling throughout the
That was me.
entire movie.
When I read the book, literally laid in my bed sobbing.
I was just like sitting there like, holy, shut up. And like they were like heaving and gasping for air because they were crying so hard. I was like, ugh.
Well,
Just
actually,
get me out of here.
Micah and I had a great experience because we sat next to.
Oh my gosh.
Or sorry, we were sitting perfectly fine.
Yeah, we were in a row by ourselves, and it was great.
Movie had already started.
10 minutes in.
These girls come in with their phone flashlights on.
Oh yeah, she told me about that.
Literally
So
waving
annoying.
it above their heads, trying to find their seat, which is so
Yeah.
stupid because they have lights on the floor.
Yeah. And
then they had their phone at full brightness, and she was scrolling. And then their friend showed up, same thing. They were like, "Oh my gosh!" And they were like, both shining their flashlights
as the
at each
movie's
other.
playing.
Yes.
The movie's 15 minutes in, 20 minutes in at this point.
Yeah.
I was like, "Shut up!"
Micah told me the thing that, like
I didn't tell Kaylee what I would have said.
yeah, she had it all planned out what she was gonna say to them after. She's like, I didn't say it because I knew that Kaylee wouldn't have liked it. She would have made her uncomfortable.
That's true. I told Micah, I was like, please don't say anything to them.
Do you want to know what I would have said?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Okay, I was so close to when we left. They got in Kaylee's way as we were leaving, which
They
was
did.
so dumb. They were just a bunch of teenage girls that, the world revolves around them.
Yes.
And it was bugging me because
Maybe it does.
not only did they show up late, they were loud, and then they kept talking. And like Kaylee and I like whispered to each other, but I was literally, my mouth was inside of Kaylee's ear,
That's kind of gross.
whispering to her. Sorry, Kaylee. But like, we were talking so quietly, I don't think anyone could have heard us.
No.
And they were like, "Oh my gosh," the whole movie. And I was like, "Oh my gosh."
My
shut up.
favorite was there was this very poignant scene, and then one of the girls goes, "Bruh."
Yeah.
So
I was like on the verge of
loud.
tears, and I was like, "Okay, fine."
Bruh.
Bruh.
But Kaylee didn't want me to say anything, so I didn't
No,
say anything.
Micah
But I was
was very
so
nice
close
to
that
me.
when we left, Kaylee walked by the girls first, and then I walked by, and I was going to turn around. This is what I was going to say. I was going to say, "Hey, just so you guys know, the world does not revolve around you, and it's okay to shut the F up every once in a while."
I'm so glad you didn't say that.
And then I would have just walked away.
I would have been mortified.
Kaylee would have had to follow you at a distance of 30 feet.
Bringing back the social distancing.
Yeah. So, anyways, we went and watched It Ends With Us. And there's been a lot of controversy about this. It's a Colleen Hoover book, and it was adapted into a movie starring Blake Lively, Jason?
Momoa,
No.
Bourne.
Justin Baldoni. And I can't remember the other guy's name.
Atlas.
Yeah. But I can't remember.
I don't know any actor names.
He looked familiar. His name is Brandon Glenner.
His character name?
No,
I'm so
it's
confused.
the actor.
I'm so confused.
But those were the three main people. And this movie has some really heavy topics, I would say. So just, I guess, trigger warning. This movie deals with domestic violence.
Oh, did you know that he directed it as well?
Yeah, Justin Baldoni.
Huh.
Yeah. That's
That's
why it was
part
such
of
a
the
big deal.
drama.
So before we talk about what the movie was about, the drama dealing with this movie is Justin Baldoni bought the rights to this movie in 2019. And this has been, he has a production company, and
How? Who is? I've never heard of this dude.
he's in Jane the Virgin.
I didn't recognize him.
Oh, really? I thought you watched Jane the Virgin.
I tried.
Oh, why didn't you like it?
I don't know. I just couldn't get into it.
Oh. But that's what he's mostly known for, is from Jane the
Who
Virgin.
is he?
He's the
The
baby daddy.
okay.
So he bought the rights to this movie, wanted to make this into a movie because he was so passionate about this topic of domestic violence and all of that. And when Blake Lively got cast, I think in her contract she said that she had to be a producer on this movie. And apparently, we don't know specifics. There's rumors about why they have issues. One of the rumors that I heard was there's a part in the movie where Justin Baldoni has to pick up Blake Lively. And apparently he has back problems. And so he went and asked the trainer. He has back issues. And he went and asked the trainer, how much does she weigh? I'm worried about my back. Blake Lively heard about this. Again, this is all rumor. I'm just spreading rumors. Heard about this and got upset because she felt like Justin was fat shaming her.
Why would you be upset about that? If someone has a hurt back, yeah, I'll tell you how much I weigh. Did you see that Curb Your Enthusiasm where they're going to the wedding and Larry needs to get everybody's weights for the private plane and nobody will tell him what the weights are, and then they have to like lose someone's bags on the way because they're overweight.
That's funny.
And then when they're in Mexico, there's this like street performer that can guess everybody's weight perfectly, and he tricks everybody into like
doing it.
He's like, "Oh, look at you! Oh, dance with me!" And he like spins everybody around, and he's like, and the guy's like, he guesses everybody's weights. And they all find out by the end that he knows their weights, and they're upset at him.
Yeah, I heard that rumor as well, and I thought it was silly. Like, I don't think that's a bad question to have.
No.
If you've got a back problem, then yeah.
And I heard Blake Lively, she thought it was like fat shaming her, which, first of all, she's not fat.
No.
At all, but like, I just thought it was silly.
Yeah, so there's been a lot of drama about this, and in my opinion, Blake Lively has had a lot of bad press. She's had a lot of bad interviews that, in my opinion, are her fault. I've watched a lot of interviews with her. She doesn't come off well in her interviews.
To me, it just seems like she's trying to be like Ryan
Reynolds, her husband.
Right.
Yeah.
And she doesn't have to be. She can be a different person.
No.
But they've cultivated this image of just being like the really snarky couple that are quick-witted and they're always telling jokes, and now maybe they feel like they're locked into it. I'm ready for them to stop it, though.
She could have just kept how she was before.
Well,
People liked her.
I didn't even know they were married. Micah told me
it.
that
Oh,
after
really?
the movie.
Yeah.
She leaned over at one time and whispered right into my ear. She's like, yeah, apparently Ryan Reynolds wrote this scene. And I was thinking, okay, that's kind of random, but...
Yeah, because another rumor is Ryan Reynolds wrote a scene during the writer's strike. And so people are really upset about that.
Wait.
That's a big
because
no-no.
they weren't supposed to be
There was...
solidarity and whatnot. Mm-hmm.
And so people are really upset about that. I just think it's so stupid because the movie was so good.
Agreed.
And all of this bad press made me go into the movie. And maybe this is why I thought it was so good, is because I went into the movie expecting it to be not great because of the bad press. And then I was super surprised that it was so good. But, like, why are people being so selfish, in my opinion? Or just being dumb, because this is such an important topic. Not very many movies that have this outcome are made, I feel like, that get this much hype. I don't know.
Let's not have it overshadowed by
Drama.
petty drama.
Yes.
But part of me does wonder if they do it on purpose to, like, promote their movie.
Yeah, people have wondered that.
Because that's how... I feel like this movie wouldn't be as big if they didn't have their little drama.
Probably not.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Do you want to tell them what it's about?
Yes. So, general plot, you have Miss Lily Blossom Bloom. That is her legit name.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Back to the drawing board on that one, Colleen.
Very unfortunate name.
Yeah.
I'll give you one guess, Brayden. What kind of shop she opens?
A shoe shop.
No, be serious.
Okay, a botanical flower shop.
Mhm.
Yep,
Yeah.
that is correct.
That's her dream.
Huge surprise there.
Well, her parents did set her up for it. What
I
else
know.
is she gonna do?
Yeah, and the movie does, like, acknowledge that her name is kind of silly.
And she even knows that it's...
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So, she's the main character. She's Blake Lively. Then you have Atlas. And then you have Ryle. Those are the two
And I know Atlas.
men.
Atlas has to hold up the world as a punishment
Yes.
for being a Titan.
Yes.
Okay.
He might shrug every now and then.
Yes.
Um,
Ayn Rand.
Yeah. Big fan. But basically, the movie kind of flips back and forth between young Blake Lively, who I have to say they did an excellent job
Yeah.
casting.
Kaylee literally thought that it was Blake Lively still, which is fair.
Yeah.
Mm.
Even
I
her
was
voice
like,
sounds the same.
It does.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So young Blake Lively, Lily, she sees this little homeless boy living in a house next to her, decides to drop off some food, and, they start a friendship, which turns into a relationship. And the guy was kicked, this is Atlas, he was kicked out of his house because, in his words, his mom likes boyfriends who beat her, and he stepped in the way.
Oh, okay.
So she kicked him out.
Yeah. So he has a history. He understands domestic violence, and Lily, her father beats her mom, and it's traumatizing, of course. So Lily understands it as well. Then we also have the Ryle guy, who I keep calling Riles.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's okay. Yeah. Weird names in this movie. And Ryle is dream guy. He's a neurosurgeon.
It's very
beautiful,
fit.
chiseled face. And they meet. The movie starts out by Lily going to her father's funeral, and she's not very upset about it because
of who he was.
Yeah.
How he was, I guess.
Yeah. And then she's just chilling on a rooftop, looking at the views, when Ryle comes in and starts beating up a chair because he's all mad. And then they start flirting on the rooftop, and he wants to, with her, but she doesn't want to
beat her up.
No, other one.
Oh, okay.
Exact opposite.
Was she just like, I really liked the way you beat up that chair?
That was really sexy.
Yeah.
And she's a relationship girly, and he's a one-time boy.
Okay.
So those two don't
Wham
match.
bam, thank you, ma'am.
Yep.
Right. Take her to the stabbing cabin.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Passion pit.
Mm-hmm.
So Lily goes, and they go their separate ways, and basically they're never going to see each other again, and they're both fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
She opens up her flower shop called Micah.
Lily blooms possessive. I had beef with this. I decided during the movie that it should be Lily's bloom or Lily blooms plural, not possessive. This is just things that bugged me during the movie.
Because she doesn't really bloom. She just cultivates, and the sun and water are what create the bloom.
Right.
Yeah. She's taking credit. That's such a Blake Lively move.
You're so dumb.
No, this flower shop is quite horrendous.
Yeah.
I
do remember, though, in the book, she had a very different style of floral stuff. So I don't think it was that far off from the book.
Okay, that's good. I can accept that then.
But yeah,
think like gothic flowers almost.
Why am I getting Wuthering Heights vibes from this whole thing?
Well, the flower shop kind of is, I guess.
Well, also the way you described
hang on,
Rhines and the little homeless boy that she falls in love with. It reminds me of Heathcliff.
Heathcliff.
Yeah. Anyway, keep going.
All right. So flower shop, and then somebody comes in, and she's amazing. She acts in Parks and Rec. What's her name?
It's that girl.
Tina Fey.
No, it's
No,
that
Amy
girl.
Poehler.
It's giving.
She's like,
no, it's not that lady.
money, please.
Yeah.
Oh, the Saturday Night Live.
Yeah,
girl.
Jenny Slate.
She is the voice of Marcel the Shell. Did you know that?
No.
I think I
From
did
the
know
beginning.
that.
Yeah.
The
That-
worst
from the very
movie.
From the very beginning, and her husband was the one that produced the video and directed the movie eventually.
Wow.
Little fun fact.
Oh, Marcel.
So if you know her previous acting, that's exactly how she is.
Okay.
Just
I feel like-
hilarious.
Yeah, I feel like that's who she always plays.
Yeah. Which
It's fine when she's a side character, which is what she is.
yeah, and she was a great best friend.
Mhm.
Lily hires her to help out in the shop, and then plot twist, turns out that Ryle is her brother.
Okay.
Brayden, Ryle is her brother.
Yeah, I'm keeping up.
No, you're supposed to like gasp.
Yeah, thank you.
And so then they start hanging out, Lily and Ryle, and they fall in love. And Ryle eventually is like, you know what? Let's date. You know. So they start dating, fall in love, and that's the end of the story.
Yeah, that's the whole movie.
Wow, there's no conflict.
Right.
I love movies like that.
But a couple things happen that appear to be an accident.
Yeah.
They have such a loving relationship, and he's like all loving on her on the counter, and he starts burning some food, and he opens up the oven and
Reaches his hand in without an oven mitt.
silly boy, and burns himself and then smacks her.
Like, the way that they did it, they really did make it look like an accident.
They did.
But in the book, that's not what happens.
Well, I actually wanted to talk about this because there's 3 incidents of like major physical abuse. One is this oven scene.
By Ryle.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
And one is he pushes her down the stairs, and then another one he like holds her down and her.
Essays her.
And it's interesting because I read a review that said the movie's trying to make you fall in love with Ryle, just like Lily did.
Mm-hmm.
And so you find yourself trying to almost justify what he's doing. And so when they first show these scenes, it does very much look like an accident. He reaches in the stove, pulls his hand away because it's hot, and maybe accidentally.
And flings his hand out and it hits her in the face.
Yeah.
Is what they make it look like. They did do a really good job of making it look like.
So he wanted to hit her, and that was just
she got in the way, quote unquote.
Right.
Is what it appears like.
So he put his hands in the oven to have an excuse.
No, to grab something hot, and then it's hot, and he's still holding it, and he drops it on the ground, and he flings his arms back, and says, and it hits her right across the face, right across the eye. She gets a black eye. And so, it was an accident, but he was upset, and it was burning, and he wanted to do this nice gesture, but he was upset because it didn't work out, and quote unquote, she just got in the way.
Yeah.
And then one of their other, but, he loves her so much, and I'm so sorry, and
like he immediately turns into apologetic.
I'm so
and
sorry.
She's like, no, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine.
It was an accident.
Yeah.
Which, yeah. So then, moving forward in the story, Ryle and Lily, and the sister, Alicia? Is that her name?
I have no idea.
Alyssa and her husband. So they're all friends, these two couples. They go out to dinner. It turns out that the restaurant that they go to, Atlas is also grown up, and it's his restaurant, and he sees that Lily has a black eye and that Ryle has a bandage on his hand. He's like, what the heck? So at some point, I think Lily goes to the bathroom, and Atlas follows her in there and is like, what is going on? You need to leave him. And she's like, no, it was an accident. I'm not your mom. Like, stop projecting. And he's like, okay, you might not be my mom, but are you your mom? She's like, that is so disrespectful, whatever. They walk out of the bathroom, and Ryle is standing right there. They were in the single stalled bathroom.
Brayden, that's when you're supposed to gasp. Again.
Cue gasp.
Yeah.
No!
You're missing all of these.
I'm doing a Geralt gasp. When he's howling.
You're dumb. And Ryle freaks out because what is his girlfriend doing in the bathroom alone with this guy?
Why was he in the bathroom?
He followed her in
because they were childhood best friends for a period of time. They were first loves.
Atlas
and Lily.
and Lily.
No. Why does the husband go into the bathroom?
No, he's waiting outside. He goes to follow her to the bathroom and is waiting for her to come out, and he sees Lily and Atlas, her first love, come out, and he's like, "What the heck? What's happening?" Atlas and Ryle fight.
Physically?
Yep.
I wouldn't mess with Atlas. He can lift up the world.
Exactly.
Got some strong biceps there.
Right. Well, his back has got to be really strong too.
Can throw a good punch.
I assume
Some
he's
good traps.
Right. I assume he's lifting with his legs at some point.
Right.
I wouldn't mess with him. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so they get into this big fight. Lily follows Ryle out of the restaurant. You're the only one that I ever wanted. Okay, anyways. Moving forward, they end up getting married. They don't. They're like, he proposes and then he's like, "I could marry you right now." And she's like, "Really?" And then they get married right then.
Like a courthouse.
Yeah.
Wedding.
Her mom's not. They don't bring her mom. She only lives a few hours away. She could have come to the wedding.
Yeah.
In the book, I think they fly out to Vegas, and I think the mom might be there, but I can't remember. Either way, not cool. That's an isolating behavior of them to do that. At some point, they get into another fight. Ryle tries to leave. Lily follows him. Ryle ends up pushing her down the stairs. A flight of stairs.
This one doesn't seem as much of an accident. And then she wakes up. She's all confused because, she got knocked out.
Has a head injury.
Ryle is fixing it. And he's like, "Oh, you tripped." And you very clearly could tell she did not.
She's like, "No."
Trip.
Yeah. You can see him push her before it goes black, And then he's like asking her the normal questions. "What's your name? What's my name? How many fingers am I holding up?" All of that stuff. And then he goes, "Now tell me you're fine." She's like, "I'm fine." "Okay, say you're okay." And right when that happens, my heart just sinks because she's not fine. What happened is not okay.
No.
This is not something, the other thing where she gets the black eye
could be an
accident. I don't think it was because of whatever, but like Kaylee said, we want to like him.
Mm-hmm.
So we try and justify it and all of this. And I was talking to Kaylee about this after the movie, that one of Justin Baldoni, who plays Ryle, one of his interviews, he talks about, people always ask women that have been abused, "Why did you stay with this person who hurt you?" and all of that. And he's like, "That's not the question we should be asking. It's, why did he hurt?" And I was telling Kaylee about this, and if somebody beat the shit out of you on the first date, of course you would leave.
Yeah.
Of course you would file a police report and say, "This person hurt me." But when you've been together for months or years, and then these things slowly start happening.
Or you're married with kids.
Right.
How do you leave?
Yeah, it's not as easy.
It's not as easy.
Yeah.
And, the statistic is that it takes a minimum of 7 times for a woman to leave before it sticks. And so many times where she got all of the courage she could muster to leave. And then she felt scared.
Mm-hmm.
And she went back. Because there's kids. Who's going to support us? All these outside factors that at least they provide that. I can put up with the abuse because they provide a home for my kids, because they pay for the extracurriculars,
There's a dumb subculture of the internet, or like now, it's like the whole Sigma male, whatever. You've heard of this?
Sigma male.
Yeah, it's just like.
Is it like the incels or whatever?
No, it's not really incel. It's like, let's make men masculine again, sort of a thing, which isn't a bad idea, but like there's certain people that take it way too far, and they're like, there's no acceptable reason to ever divorce anyone. Wow. They're like, what about abuse? Nope, you shouldn't divorce even if there's abuse.
That's so bad.
Wow.
What nonsense! That's so stupid.
Yeah, it definitely made me understand those types of relationships, because I do feel like our first question is, when we hear stories or know people, is, well, why didn't she leave? But again, not the question you should be asking.
Yeah.
And it's not that simple. Like, you do put up with it. And Micah compared it to like a frog in water. You boil the frog by
Yeah,
slowly
Yeah, that's how it
turning on the
starts.
water. So it's very sad. To continue the story, she then finds a magazine article that lists her little Lily Bloom's flower
yeah.
store as like best in Boston.
She made the top 10 list.
Scary flower store.
Scary
Exactly.
gothic flowers.
Wuthering Heights flowers.
And so she's delighted. Ryle gets a copy of the article and he's happy. Then he comes home and sees that Atlas's restaurant
Is also
listed.
And in his interview, Atlas's interview, he makes a reference to a tattoo that Lily has on her. She only has one tattoo.
Why is he talking about her in his interview?
Because he saved her life when they were kids. Because he was homeless. The first loves. They were each other's best friends. And he makes a reference to Lily. And Ryle is pissed.
Mm-hmm.
So why is this guy talking about his wife? And why are you still talking to him? I'm not talking to him. I'm not talking to him. And a huge fight happens, and she leaves.
And she goes to Atlas because she has nowhere else to go. She doesn't know anyone.
She doesn't have any other friends.
And Atlas like takes care of her, takes her to the doctor, and after the doctor, they go back to Atlas's apartment, and nothing is happening romantically.
He's just helping her.
He's just helping her. And she starts having flashbacks of her relationship with Ryle, of like them having so much fun and kissing. And then you see another like viewpoint of him getting that hot thing out of the oven. And it's clearly an intentional hit. Like she starts seeing things that
From a different perspective.
Yeah, her eyes have kind of been open to who Ryle is. But Brayden, get ready to gasp here. At the doctor's. No,
Not
too
yet.
early.
Not yet.
Okay.
At the doctor's, she realizes that she's pregnant.
Oh no.
So how does she leave? There's another thing. How can you leave? But also, different perspective, how can you stay?
Yeah.
And that's what I think she realizes. I will say one thing I did not like about this movie is Blake Lively's costumes. We talked about this. Kaylee said she didn't mind, but it was like patterns on patterns. And it was like she was, at some point, I swear she was wearing high-waisted pants that came above her belly button with a weird pattern. And then she was wearing low-waisted pants.
I saw that.
On top of them.
That was weird.
With both patterned that don't match at all.
Was it supposed to be quirky or something?
Yeah.
She's supposed to be quirky and
she's so quirky.
Bohemian.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, just
So
different. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think that the acting was really good. The script was really good. Everything about this movie was great. I just didn't like Blake Lively's costumes.
Yeah.
Do you have a question?
Oh no.
Do you have a question?
No.
Stretching.
Okay.
So should we go into... we should do a parental warning.
Oh, yeah. It is rated PG-13.
But not suitable for children.
No. Just because of, like, adult themes and...
Mm-hmm.
There's not... I don't think there's a single F word in this movie, though.
No, language wasn't bad.
I won't be watching.
But just the domestic violence, I do think it shows, like I said, like a different perspective on this of someone that leaves and stays left, you know. And we were talking about this after the movie that people, I think you said this, that people think that it's glorifying domestic abuse. It's not.
No.
It's definitely not, in our opinions. They don't make it look like it's a fun thing to get pushed down the stairs or all of that. And they do show how slowly it can start and all of that. But, yeah, I don't know. What would you rate this?
You gonna rate it? Yeah.
Yeah, I would actually rate this pretty high. I would say 9 out of 10 Gothic flower arrangements.
That's fair. That's fair.
Pretty good.
I'm also going to rate this a 9.
Jeez.
It was just really good.
So good.
I was on the verge of tears so many different times during this movie.
I did cry. Micah told me my mascara was smudged afterwards.
But I think I'm going to rate this a 9 roots out of 10.
Nice.
So are there any spoilers? I feel like we talked about everything.
Let's talk about the ending. Some people really did not like the ending at all.
How he was in the hospital room?
No, more that they didn't really show her and Atlas getting back together after.
But that's how the book ends.
Yeah. Yeah. And the next book, it's called It Starts With Us, is all about her and Atlas and their relationship. But
you can tell that time has passed. Like her daughter is at least 6 months. She could be almost a year old or something like that when she runs into Atlas. And I think that would have I think that's missing the point.
I agree. Because the point of the movie wasn't necessarily happy endings.
No, it was
this is strength. Ending.
Yeah.
There were a couple things I wanted to highlight. These are not spoiler alerts, but just things. The best friend / sister of Ryle. So after Lily decides, like,
I think I'm done.
She goes and talks to her best friend / sister-in-law.
Yeah.
And that sister had a really good line where she's like, as his sister, I hope you could find it in your heart to forgive him. As your best friend, I would be so mad if you stayed with him.
And I will never talk to you again.
Huh?
She said, if you take him back, I will never talk to you again as your best friend.
And I thought that was, again, showing strength of, women supporting women. She was being there. When I first heard the best friend say, like, you should find it in your heart to forgive him, I was like, oh no.
Yeah, just your heart sinks because she trusts the sister so much, her best friend. But, yeah, and then she's like, I will never talk to you ever again.
Yeah.
Like, good.
And then there was one other beautiful scene. So Lily gave birth. She's sitting there with her little baby girl and with Ryle, who was there during the birth. And they are still, like, kind of, sort of together at this point. They're still married.
I think they're separated. Like, she's living somewhere else, but they're not divorced yet.
Yeah. And Ryle's holding his baby girl for the first time, and Lily says, we need to get a divorce. And Ryle's like, no. And Lily's like, no, think about it. If this little girl came up to you and said, Daddy, my boyfriend hit me, but he said it's an accident. Or, Daddy, I fell down the stairs, and I think my boyfriend pushed me, but he said it was an accident. He said I tripped. What would you tell her? And you can see Ryle, like, processing this, and he's like, I would tell her to leave, and I would beg her to never go back to him. So it just really showed, like, character growth. And in the book, I believe you get Ryle's perspective, right? On a few...
Can't remember.
I think there's a few chapters,
like maybe at the end or something.
Mm-hmm. And it's interesting to see, like, the abuser's perspective, because it's almost like it's a part of him and he wants to change, but, like,
there's this demon inside of him or something.
Yeah, but again, no justification.
Yeah.
And Lily was strong enough to not justify it, so it was really good. Let me check my notes and make sure we talked about everything.
Winds howling.
Are you able to cut this out?
No.
Oh.
Almost no way.
I thought you said you could cut
You can remove background noise, but it's going to mess up our voices if I do that.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you get everything in your notes?
Yeah.
So you're welcome, everybody, for the sleepy time rain sounds.
You have any separate stuff?
I do. I have some book recommendations.
Oh.
So I sent this one to Micah, and hopefully she'll read it soon. So you may be hearing a more in-depth reporting, but it's called The Measure by Nikki Elric. And the premise of it is everyone wakes up one day and every single person has a little wooden box that when you open it has a string that tells you how long your life is going to be. And it's just interesting because...
Wait, so 1 inch is like 1 year or what?
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
Like, and websites start, you know, like the government starts this website where you can exactly measure your string and it'll tell you down to the year, like how long you're going to live.
That's so scary.
So scary.
I would hate that.
I would hate it too. I feel like I would open it up and then I would regret it.
Yeah, but how could you not open it?
Right?
You just gotta cast it into the sea.
But I guess...
Then do you die instantly? You kill your
No.
life thread.
No, but I guess in the question of would you rather know when you die or how you die, I'd much rather know
I'd rather
when.
know when.
than how.
Because
Because if you died while going to the bathroom, every time you went to the bathroom,
yeah.
you'd
be scared.
Yeah.
You
But
die
if I knew that I died in a year and 1 day, I'd have a whole year to do whatever I wanted, you know,
Yeah.
and not be afraid of going to the bathroom, you know.
Right.
you just have to be afraid on that last day of whatever is going to kill you.
Exactly.
Yeah. But just really interesting. And it's like a modern day what if sort of thing. And even gets into like how this would affect politics and lawmaking. It's all like a fictional, you know,
that's
it
really
focuses
interesting.
on people.
Yeah.
But like...
So is it like an accumulation of a bunch of...
Yeah, it
stories?
follows maybe like 6 different stories, and one of them is a politician, and he ends up getting a short string, and he's running for president.
He ends up getting a short...
in his box.
He opens up his box, and it's a short string.
Oh, he hasn't opened it up yet?
No, he opened it the day that he got it, and he got a short string, which means he's not
I thought they were given the boxes at birth.
No,
just they wake up one day and everyone has a box.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you listening?
I know.
I guess
it's like
not.
he didn't even care.
I know. Rated. Oh, there we go.
Wind is howling.
But yeah, just really interesting. So, highly recommend.
Okay. I did play a game this week.
Oh.
Brayden forced me.
I did not. I saw it on the eShop.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this looks like something Micah would like.
And I beat it in 2 days.
Yeah. And it turned out she did like it.
Yeah. So it's called Cat Quest.
Uh-huh.
And basically you're a cat who has to
Save the kingdom.
Yeah, save the kingdom. And you go through all these different side quests to gain abilities and to level up and to get money and all that, so you can level up all of your stuff, and you can get special magic abilities. So one of them is like a fire circle around you or ice.
It's a really cool art style.
Yeah.
I really like the way it looks.
It's a very pretty fun game. It's not hard.
No.
For sure. Once you beat the game the first time through, you can go back and play different hardness.
Difficulty?
Yeah, difficulty.
You add modifiers to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many hours? Like 10?
Yeah.
Hours to beat this game. But the story's really fun, and like
Lots of cat puns.
lots of cat puns. Any chance that they get to be like, oh, it's perfect. Or literally any chance of like that they could, and then when you're like, that doesn't even make any sense, they just add it on. Because they're like cat venturers, which is, you know, adventurers.
Barely. Yeah,
that like doesn't
barely
really work.
Not
It
quite.
doesn't really work. And like at some point, people pretend to be a dog, and instead of cat puns, it's like dog puns. So it's like woofing whatever for some other
As a swear.
as a swear or something. But it's a really fun game. I would probably rate it like a 8. An 8 walks on water out of 10.
Jesus.
Do you get to customize your cat avatar?
You totally should be able to, because it's an RPG.
Well,
but
you pick up hats and clothing that have different abilities
you can't
and different
change the way he
weapons,
looks.
but you can't change the way that you look.
Well,
But
that's
there is
a big disappointment.
Yeah. But it also is like the game they keep making reference to like this orange cat, which is you. And so like if you could change what you looked like, I guess like they'd have to update that.
Sure.
I feel like that'd be kind of annoying as a developer. But what else is there about this game?
I didn't play it. I don't know.
Oh.
Micah's addicted to it.
No.
That much I know.
It was
She's now playing Cat Quest 2.
which I didn't want to buy because I didn't want to pay the $15 for the game.
And then yesterday,
I went on to the eShop and it was on sale at 75% off.
and she was on the phone with me, and she's like, "It's on sale! It's only $3."
So you just had to get it, of course.
Exactly, I had to get it.
You're saving money.
See?
That's right. You would have paid $15, and you got it for $3.
Exactly.
You just saved $12.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
Girl math.
Okay, that's good, right?
Let's just call it.
Okay, we're calling it.
All right.
Time of death, 2:42 p.m.
Bye, everyone.
Coming up, we have Smiling Friends, Season 2. We have the Throne of Glass series that I'm going to talk about.
More like Throne of Ass. Just kidding.
What else do you have?
Well, recently I've been working on some special videos. I've got a couple planned in the pipeline.
You've come out with 2 recently, right? Have we announced those?
The last one I did was about the Witcher 3 base game, and I'm going to be talking about Hearts of Stone.
So those are only on YouTube.
Yeah.
Check those out.
We need to start watching.
House of the Dragon.
Yeah, House of the Dragon.
Okay.
All right.
Well, have a great week, everybody.
Bye.